What's good, fellow outcasts and other rejects? Welcome to WTC, the Anime Outcast. First off, if you're new here, we upload anime what-ifs based around My Hero and other shows alike. Secondly, did you know 80% of our audience isn't subscribed? So in order for us to continue to make good content, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Now without further ado, let's get into the video. We open to a house in the quiet valley town of Risenbull, where an older man with blonde hair sits at his desk, putting the finishing touches on his collection of books. Finally, it's finished. A complete collection of alchemical and alchemical knowledge. My life's work. I just wish I didn't have to part with it so soon. But I have to send it away. Leaving it here could spell disaster. The man let out a sigh as he brought the stacks of books, 6 in total, to a larger room. Inscribed into the room's floor was a large circle. It had symbols etched into its outer edge, and a star was drawn from its edge to its center. The man brought himself, books in hand, the center of the circle. Taking a deep breath, the man placed his hand in the center of the circle and vanished. An instant later, a brilliant flash of blue light enveloped the room, and both the blonde man and the books disappeared. The scholar and the books rematerialized in a dull white void, its only contents being an almost featureless figure in behemoth's steel door.
So, you've come to the gate once more. What are you seeking? And what are you willing to pay for it?
The silhouette-like figure inquired, a look of malicious intent forming on his face.
I'm not here to try and gain anything. I've learned that lesson well,
the blonde man said with a chuckle.
Rather, I've come to give knowledge rather than take it. Alchemy has no place in our world anymore.
So I was hoping you could send these to a world that needs it to a person who is kind and strong enough to wield it. The man made a proposal to the strange being.
I can do what you ask. However, you should know as well as anyone that nothing is for free,
the silhouette said, grinning as he awaited his visitor's response.
A toll to be paid, I mean, I like my body, but I assume that my gait would be more than enough. I won't be needing it anymore,
the blonde man said confidently to the being in front of him. The being cackled as something behind the blonde man began to crumble.
That works for me,
the being cackled with glee.
You surprise me like always. I'll make sure these go to where you want them to,
the silhouette being said as the scene vanished.
Stupid Kachan. There's more to being a hero than just having a quirk. Why does he have to keep putting me down so much?
A burned and bruised Izuku inquired as he made his way home from another hellish day at school. The green-haired teen had chosen to take a long way as to not worry his mother any more than she already was. In doing so, the teen found himself passing through a dark and musty underpass. Its only features were a single manhole and a litter that lined its walls.
I should hurry home before it gets much later. If Mom says anything, I'll just tell her I tripped,
Izuku grumbled as he passed over the manhole. The teen paused, taking a breath before carrying on. For what came next, he wouldn't even have time to scream. Out of nowhere, the manhole below Izuku's feet bust open violently. The emerald-eyed teen jumped back, turning around before being completely paralyzed with fear. Izuku looked up and saw a creature made of slime heave itself up from the sewers below, its venomous eyes darting around frantically before it locked into the juniper-haired teen and lunged onto him, restrained as massive sludge began to force its way down his throat.
Just hold still, kid, and this will all be over soon,
the sludge gurgled as it began to take over the parts of the teen's body that were once filled with air.
This is it, isn't it? This is how I die. Sorry, Mom. I guess I just wasn't strong enough,
the mortified teen said as his vision faded to black. The last thing Izuku heard was a bellowing call as torrents of wind whipped past the struggling teen. Hey kid, wake up! The towering blonde man said a few times as he stood over an unconscious Izuku.
What happened?
Groaned a groggy Izuku as he took in his surroundings. Looks like that villain got you pretty good, Japan's #1 hero began, though he was quickly cut off by a now fanboying Izuku. Calm down, young man, the symbol of peace began, gesturing frantically, trying to bring the teen back to reason.
Right. Sorry. I'm just such a big fan.
Izuku said, taking a few steps back. Well, anyway, you're safe now. I've captured the heinous criminal, the symbol of peace said, striking a pose and brandishing 2 beverage bottles full of slime.
Let me out of here!
The slime said to no one that could hear him. Well, anyway, I have to get going now. Try to stay out of trouble, All Might said, preparing to leave.
Excuse me, All Might, sir. I have a question for you.
The juniper-haired teen piped up. Sorry, kid, but I really must be going, the #1 hero shouted as he rocketed off into the skies.
And he's gone,
the teen said, sounding defeated as he finished his walk home. Izuku opened the door and was greeted by a frantic Inko Midoriya.
My God, are you alright? What happened?
The boy's mother questioned upon seeing her son's various injuries.
I'm fine, Mom. Really. I just fell down a hill on the way here.
Izuku lied to his mother, not wanting to worry her. Inko eyed her son with a look of mild suspicion as he walked to his room, but thought it was better not to say anything. Beaten, tired, and defeated, Izuku settled into his room, ready to get some rest after a day's events. However, the juniper-haired teen was stopped dead in his tracks when he heard something hit the floor. Thinking he had shaken his dresser when he came in, the teen turned around to see what had been knocked off. To the tired boy's surprise, Izuku found 6 large books sitting on his dresser in place of what had fallen. His curiosity getting the better of him, Izuku began to examine the first of the books.
What are these? How did they wind up in my room?
The emerald-eyed teen asked as he flipped through the book's pages and found that they were written in a foreign language. A look of confusion etched itself onto the teen's face.
I can't read any of this as it is, but maybe I can translate it.
The teen thought as he laid down, drained from the day's events. Izuku woke to what was relatively a normal day. He went to school, got tormented by Bakugo, as per usual, and made it home safely. The only changes came when the green-haired boy rushed into his room upon getting home. Izuku had spent all day theorizing about the books that had come from seemingly nowhere, and had even downloaded a translator app on the way home. Sitting down at his desk, the anxious teen began taking pictures of the first few pages, hoping to make sense of the mystery. But to his dismay, he wasn't able to pull anything from the app.
Damn it, probably need something stronger. Or better yet, maybe a real-world reference would help. There's a couple of old bookshops I could check out.
The teen began to mutter uncontrollably, as he figured out how to best handle the challenge. He had spent the next few weeks looking around town, and though he hadn't found any leads on the books, he had found a place that trained for the exam.
Dagobah Municipal Beach. It's been abandoned for years, and it's surrounded by a veil of trash. It'd be a perfect place for me to practice in secret.
The teen thought to himself as he once again wandered the city streets. Lost in his own thoughts, that was until he slammed into a brick wall.
How? How did I miss that?
Izuku asked in both pain and confusion as he examined the building he collided with. It was a red brick building that looked older than most in the area, with the spider webs and cracks running along the walls, and a sign hanging that read, Ancient Antiques and Archives. Intrigued, the teen made his way inside.
Hello? Is anyone here?
The emerald-eyed teen called out as he made his way through the shop's dusty entrance.
Oh, a customer. Come on in.
Called a voice from behind a corner. Izuku stepped around the corner, quickly wiping the blood from his nose.
So, what brings you to my humble little shop?
The clerk inquired, eyeing up his customer.
Well, I have some books that I can't quite translate, and I was hoping to find some kind of reference for them.
He mumbled out in his usual sheepish manner.
Well, do you have a sample for me? This is a shop after all, not a search engine.
The shopkeeper exclaimed, sounding annoyed.
Oh, right, sorry.
The teen stumbled out as he pulled up the pictures of the pages on his phone.
I've been able to do a partial translation, but it feels like something is missing,
Izuku stated as he handed the pictures to the shopkeeper. The man looked at the images for a few moments before his jaw slacked in shock.
My god. Excuse me, just a moment.
Shouted the clerk as he bolted into the back of the store, nearly dropping Izuku's phone in the process. The man returned a few moments later with a small book no larger than a pamphlet, a look of unbridled excitement plastered on his face.
I bought this from an archaeologist years ago. It was found in a German dig site, so I assumed the other half was lost. Those pages of yours are a perfect match. How much do you want for it?
He asked, barely able to contain his own excitement. Izuku paid the clerk and proceeded to bolt home as fast as his legs would let him. Crimes in progress were little more than afterthoughts as he raced towards his goal. The teen stumbled through his front door, causing a small bout of worry from his mother before he made his way to his room and laid out the materials.
Incredible,
the teen muttered under his breath as he began to put the cipher to use. About a week later, and after much hard work, Izuku was able to decrypt the first chapter, and though he had his own theories about what the books may have contained, he had no way to be prepared for what he found. Thanks again to the Outcasts and Rejects for watching to the end of the video. If this video gets 80 likes in 2 weeks, we'll continue the series. Other than that, if you have any questions about the series or channel, sound off in the comments or feel free to join our Discord. Thanks again.